Hopefully, you are out there or were out there this morning doing something productive, successful, something that is going to help establish your kingdom and queendom. Today's Sandy Speaks is going to focus directly on my white people. White people, yes, black people know that all lives matter. But what I need you guys to understand is that being a black person in America is very, very hard. Although you all love to say, oh, nobody should see race, people are the reason that racism is still alive. Well, what kind of people are the reason? Black racists have no power, whereas white racists do. They have power because they are in positions of control, or they're in positions where they can influence the control over black people. Yes, that is very true. So to my friends who want to get on my videos and they're upset about the picture that I posted, oh well, I will not apologize for it because at the moment, Black Lives Matter. They matter. Our media is showing you, obviously they don't. So for y'all that can sit around and say all lives matter, I want you to go put it on a poster and stand out on a corner somewhere. If we can get enough white people to show that all lives matter, maybe they'll stop killing our black brothers. Because obviously that's what it's going to take for the white people to get up and get tired of black people saying Black Lives Matter. So if y'all want it to stop, you get out there and do something about it. But what you're not going to do is get on my page with the foolishness. You will be deleted. You will be unfriended. I am not a racist. I grew up in Villa Park, Illinois, was the only black girl on an all-white cheerleading squad, so I had to learn how to deal with and black people. You will not be successful in this world until you learn how to work with white people. But I want the white folks to really understand out there, black people are truly, we're doing as much as we can. Not all of us, but some of us are really doing as much as we can. And we can't help but get pissed off when we see situations where it's clear the black life didn't matter. For those of you questioning why was he running away, well, goddamn. Because in the news that we've seen as of late, you could stand there, surrender to the cops, and still be killed. So for those of you that feel like all lives matter, if you want to put it on the poster, I will stand out there with you. But if you're not ready to do that, do not get on my page with it. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. You might have a black friend or two. And I'm not calling all white people racist because y'all not. But for the ones who want to get on my page talking about all lives matter, show me in American history where all lives have mattered. Show me where there has been liberty and justice for all. Like that fucking Pledge of Allegiance we love to say. Excuse my French, because Sandy Speaks don't usually cuss. But I was really irritated by the responses to the post that I made earlier because white people, if all lives mattered, would there need to be a hashtag for Black Lives Mattering? Think about that. Just truly think about that. Yes, black on black crime numbers are extremely high. Yes, they are, but that is because there are uneducated people who are hell-bent on self-extermination. I am not one of them. I am into building up my kings and queens. So for me, Black Lives Matter. And then subset, all lives matter. Take it or leave it. Sandy Speaks.
Mic check, mic check. Thank you for joining us for West Wednesdays. This is a weekly online protest. We normally meet at 33rd and Greenmount here in Baltimore, but because of the coronavirus, we're meeting online. I'm going to turn it over to Tawanda, who is our MC and leader for the night. Mic check.
Mic check. Thank you so much. Mic check. Thank you so much, Brother Ben. Really appreciate you and everyone. So as you just heard our queen, Sandra Bland, speak, it almost had me in tears, talking about how Black Lives Matter, how people should take it seriously, just a warrior queen fighting. I call her a freedom fight. That was Sister Harriet time. You know what I mean? So for you to see that, I'm just gonna quickly, I'm gonna actually jump into my brother's story. That I'm gonna quickly bring her beautiful sister on that had the pleasure of blessing us tonight. So pretty much, my brother Tyrone West was brutally executed right here in Baltimore City, and just like Sandra Bland said, it seemed like Black lives don't matter. He was an unarmed man, wasn't doing anything wrong, and was executed by 11 to 15 Baltimore City police officers as well as one Morgan State University officer. And the thing that bothers me the most is Ruiz. He was the first one at the car, him and Chapman, in an unmarked car, and pulled my brother out by his red locks, brutally executed my brother. And asked me if he got fired. No, actually, he got promoted. To this day, he has a promotion, and now he's a sergeant. They actually have a murderer that brutally murdered, and it's not just my brother. Before my brother, there was Darrell Harris, 24 hours. There was Abdul Salam, 17 days before, with his baby in the backseat car. There was Joseph Green, James Green. The list goes on. So those are the only victim names that I know, but it's plenty more. And that's what Baltimore City seems to like. And it's not just a Baltimore thing. Unfortunately, as I bring guests around the world, I won't wish anyone into this club. Anyone, no one. But as I bring these guests on, it's not a pleasure to hear them and relive their pain, because as they relive their pain, I relive it with them. It touched my heart. It breaks my heart. And that's exactly why I've been around the world, traveling, meeting different families, because I wouldn't wish nobody into this side. It's not the right side. It's not the right club, right? Not the right family. This pain is real. It goes nowhere. So when I first saw Sandra Bland's story, oh my God, it touched me so bad. I couldn't stop crying, because she kind of reminded me of myself. That's like me riding, and I'm always vocal speaking. Sandy was speaking, you just heard her. This is before we all got to know her. You get what I'm saying? But for her to be, for everything to happen the way it happened, I'm just gonna let her beautiful queen sister dive into it right now. So I'm gonna bring her on. And no further ado, my queen sister, you can take the mic. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
All right. Thank you so much, Queen Warrior, Sis Tawanda. My name is Shantae. I'm Sandra Bland's. And that video, I hadn't watched it in a while, but the video just really ignited something in me. Just hearing my little speak, it just really did something to me. I actually got a tear in my eye, just hearing how bold and assertive she was, how she knew what she wanted, and she knew how to address you in the correct manner. It's just sad, very, very sad that she's no longer here.
Take your time. It's all right. Take your time.
And I'm sending you viral hugs, Sister Queen. I know it's hard, and that's just almost like me. If I had a video of my brother and I played it, that would like tear my heart up, because it's hard. So again, I thank you for allowing me to play that for everybody to see this beautiful queen speaking so articulate, very educated, very beautiful inside and out. Y'all look like twins. So I mean, take your time. I love you, sis, and again, thank you so much. I know this is hard. Thank you again.
I love you too, and thank you for having me. Thank you. Want to ask me anything that you want to know, or?
No, I just want to know, in what ways can we support you? Because I know that video took you there, and I'm not trying to, and I know you've been going through some other things. I'm not trying to spark or nothing said in you. I just want to support you on all levels. And speaking of which, my sister, has a clothing line that she actually sells beautiful shirts. Could you share that with my audience so that way they can know how to order a shirt from you?
Okay. I have shirts that say "No Queen Left Behind," and November the 14th of 2018. I was just sitting in the house and I said, "No queen left behind." And the queen comes from my sister because she would always greet everyone with "Hello, my beautiful kings and queens." So that came from there, and not leaving them behind is twofold. The one is when our loved ones pass away, don't forget about them. Keep their names and legacies going so that other people will never forget about them. And then on the other side, it was when one woman excels, or king, one queen or king excels, and you know someone or you hear of someone that needs assistance in that area, help them so we can all rise up together. Don't just hold your talents and ideas to yourself when you can help someone else get to where you are too. Because God wants us to share with one another, not to be holding all of our things to ourselves when we know that we can help someone else. So that's where the "No Queen and King Left Behind" came from. And same with the Prince and Princess too. And currently I only have a Facebook, which is "No Queen Left Behind," but I am responsive to the inbox over there. So if you want, you can go over there and look at the shirts. And hopefully I'll be speaking with some of you all soon. To answer what you all can do to help our family. Right now, unfortunately, the case is closed. We did not get the justice that we needed. First of all, the grand jury did not file any charges against anyone. I don't know what type of evidence the prosecutor showed them, but they did not render a guilty verdict. So we was not able to do anything over on that end. So for me right now, justice would just be other officers that act in that manner getting accountability. And when I say accountability, I don't mean going to jail for one day and being able to bond out. I mean getting some jail time, no pensions, and just letting them feel our pain. You know, at the end of the day, they should be held accountable for their actions. And that's not being done like 100%. They try to do it, but it's still, when they give the time, it's still ridiculous. So I would just say if we can all just support different people that are going through this and share our experiences and maybe some coping mechanisms with them. That's what we can do right now. And then just make sure we're doing self-care as well. Self-care is very important. Take some time and just drink your water, pray, meditate, journal if you have to, but please exercise self-care. And have a great day.
Thank you so much, beautiful queen, for your time. And whenever you want to jump off, you want to walk or jump off, and if anybody send me any questions or thoughts, you want to hang on, you can. But I definitely appreciate your time and just thank you. Anointed, we are back and you're 100%. So anything you ever need, you can always reach out to me. You can always reach out to me. So we're gonna be sharing her page up. So I'm just asking everybody, just please, even if you don't want to wear the shirt, buy it. The shirt is beautiful. Mine's coming next week. I'm gonna be on y'all gonna see me styling and profiling. But meanwhile, you guys can purchase one as a gift or just as a love offering. Purchase a shirt. The beautiful shirt is only $20. You can't beat that. We spend more than that buying a cheesesteak stuff and some French fries. Ask me, y'all know I know I'm the queen of cheesesteaks. But anyway, I definitely want to support my sister in any old way that I can, any and every way that I can. So thank you again, beautiful queen. I love you.
Thank you, Queen sis, and I love you as well.
Thank you. And before we go on to my next guest, I just want to let y'all know, that's why I always say there is no justice. It's just us trying to hold folks accountable. No matter what the media shows you, no matter what facts or truths come out, the television, no matter the lies versus the truth, no matter the truths, we still do not get the proper justice that we need. And it's just not right. Like, as you can see, this beautiful queen was going around the world like sharing, inspiring people. Like, I mean, beautiful life, beautiful stuff, getting up. And like her sister just said, she was created by kings and queens, very respectful queen. Executed. Let's be crystal clear. And it hurts me. Like, I know I fight like hell for my brother, and I'm going to continue to fight. But it hurts me. Who's fighting for the queens? Who is fighting for the queens? And that's why I had my other guy, he's going to come last before, after this other sister. Because he's a brother that definitely, if he got to check you, he's going to do it. By all means. But it's the thing that women get killed and nobody is held accountable, nobody does anything. Like, this is horrible. It needs to stop. And speaking of women, I want to highlight another case. A young lady by the name of Breonna Taylor, an EMT worker, killed in her own home, y'all. These officers, these killer cops, go into the wrong home on a so-called warrant, wrong whole entire house. And her boyfriend, Kenneth, was there protecting the family. You just imagine you laying in your house, somebody just kick your door in. A man's gonna be a man. I'm sorry, a man is gonna be a man. A king gonna be a king. He was in his own house protected, standing his ground. Now his girlfriend is dead. Bless her heart, gone. Wrong house, sleep, y'all, sleep. And now they got him arrested. Are you kidding me? But yet, our brother Ahmaud Arbery, jogging down the goddamn street, two white racists, kill him. Disgusting. And as we continue on being in this pandemic, I want to up and say, it don't bring me no joy bringing victim names out here, but I want to put it out there. There was another guy, his name was Douglas Lewis. Douglas Lewis, murdered, brutally murdered. Like, are you kidding me? A traffic stop, y'all, just like my brother. And the white guy decides to say, oh, well, you know what? I fear for my life. And that's what these killer cops did. They always in so much fear. Now we got these racists. Now we got vigilantes, y'all, saying the same damn thing. You know why? Because that's all they got to say. But what about when Kenneth feared for him and Breonna's life? What about that? Somebody kicking your door down. Let's be clear. Kicking your door in. And nobody be held accountable. It's time for us, y'all, to rise up and stand our own game ground. Like, I'm tired of being tired. And as I bring my next guest on, this beautiful queen sister, she fights for her brother as well. And as we know here in Baltimore City, just like they lied on Detective Suter, we know he was executed by his own kind, y'all. But they want us to be stupid and say that this man basically killed himself. All the evidence points to that he was murdered. He was supposed to testify to y'all 24 hours before. They switched his partner out. They did all this dirty stuff. And the reason why he was in that neighborhood that he was in, I'm talking about the Detective, in case somebody just jumped on. He was investigating. Crooked cops in that neighborhood. Come to find out, it was a teenager killed on that block that basically had dirt on these killer cops. And he was going to investigate that, and that's the time. Then not only he was going to testify on a gun trace task force. What did they do? They executed him, and then had the nerve to kill him with his own weapon and say that this man killed himself. So when I met my beautiful queen, and I've been on every true crime story and everything, and anybody knows me personally knows that I love true crime stories because it's the truth. It's broke down. My TV stays on the ID Discovery channel. I'm sorry, like, it's real to me. Between BET and ID Discovery, that's me all day long. But nevertheless, this queen know that her brother was murdered, y'all. Murdered. And to the point that investigators know, everybody know, but yet the foolery that they do. And just like, even though we almost always talk about police brutality because that's my lane, well, we know that all these things are together. It's about a system that is failing us. Just like the system here, where black men and women get killed every day. A little boy just got shot here in Baltimore City. Y'all hear Brother Brian come on every day, and I'm not every day, but every week, and give us names, unfortunately, of somebody loved one that was murdered and nobody being held accountable. So we all know. So let's not let them play the divide and conquer game and say police brutalities over here, street crimes over here, and all this. Because I won't dare call it black on black crime. We know Asians kill Asians, Caucasians kill Caucasians. Why is it black on black crime? We know that we need to pull it together and stop killing each other and fight this system, but it's all together. Homelessness, all together. We need to just all pull together because it's almost like driving down a highway, right? You can take different streets to get you on that highway, but it's the same thing. You're going to all connect to this highway of injustice, whether it's through a homicide where somebody got murdered. You wouldn't care if it was a killer cop or your neighbor. Your loved one is gone. You hurt. The pain is real. You get what I'm saying? But the difference when we know that it's an officer, they laugh and they torment us, and we don't get any charges. Let's be clear about that. You don't get anything. At least we know if we start telling and we got enough of evidence or whatever, you may never see that person again. But that don't happen with all. That's why I fight so hard. And I still want to fight for my people that get killed by each other, because that's not right. A life is a life. So no further ado, I'm going to bring my sister, Amanda Shirley. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Go ahead, we can hear you.
Thank you for having me on. I'm honored to be here.
Thank you.
So, my name's Amanda Shirley. My brother was a 27-year-old father of 3. He was shot and killed by his wife's ex-boyfriend in Georgia back in 2016. And the shooter actually called it in as a suicide. And they ran with that story when law enforcement showed up and everything. They ran with that story. There was 2 eyewitnesses to the accounts, you know. They don't want to hear it. They don't care, you know. They stuck with their story that it was a suicide, and they don't want to hear no truth, no evidence. We've got plenty of evidence. They just don't care. They don't want to hear it. They won't have nothing to do with it. We tried to talk to, I've got my own private investigator, his name's Eric Eccles. Went to the governor, we went to the attorney general, we went to the Coroners Association, we went to senators, we went to, even 4 years later, I've still not spoken to the sheriff of the county that he was killed in. They will not talk to us. So no, my brother wasn't killed by cops, but law enforcement is why he is not getting justice.
That is so sad, sis. I'm so sorry. And that's exactly why I connected our beautiful sister to share about Sandra Bland, because we know Sandra Bland didn't kill herself. They think we're going to believe anything. Sandra Bland didn't kill herself, and we know DJ definitely didn't kill herself. Like, really? And could you go in, if it's not too hard, because I don't know if the viewers got a chance to watch that video that I shared with you when you were on the ID Discovery Channel, whatever Discovery Channel you were on with the investigator. But guys, in case you didn't see it, when I'm done West Wednesday, I'm going to definitely share this because you definitely need to hear this. But could you, if it's not too hard, could you tell us like literally what you remember about that day, what happened?
Oh God, I remember that day like it was yesterday. And of course, you know that your day all too well too.
Mm-hmm.
DJ was texting my mom, begging him for a ride out of the home. He was staying in a house with some friends, and the ex lived in a camper outside of the home on the property. And my brother was texting my mom, begging her for a ride out of there, saying he was going to end up dead there. You know, his life depended on it. He had to get out of there. And my mom was sick. She was, you know, she was scheduled to have a pacemaker put in the next week. So she was sick and wasn't able to drive or anything. And we were 45 minutes away from where he was at. And within that 45 minutes that it would took her to get there, he had been shot and killed. Matter of fact, after the last text message that was sent, 3 minutes later, a 911 call came in that said that from the shooter that said he killed himself. And like I said, there was 2 eyewitnesses that seen it. He failed a polygraph test. He failed a reenactment of the shooting. He changed his story 5 or 6 times. The detective on the case changed it from a suicide investigation to a homicide investigation about 3 weeks into it. GBI didn't investigate it, just the county did. GBI did an autopsy. BJ's body was sent to GBI for a limited autopsy with false information from the county coroner, and that's why they ruled it a suicide, because of the false information that was sent down there. And because the GBI ruled it a suicide, the DA refuses to take it in front of a grand jury.
Wow.
And that's what we've been fighting for 4 years, is just for them to present it to a grand jury. They won't talk to us. We've even offered to pay out of our own pocket to have the gun tested for fingerprints and processed, to have the gunshot residue test that was done on the shooter sent off for analysis. They won't respond to us. They didn't do a gunshot residue test on DJ. They took a couple of pictures of him during the autopsy. 911 operator told the suspect to unload and secure the weapon before law enforcement got there. So they instructed him to tamper with the crime scene. It's just crazy. It's crazy.
I'm so sorry, sis. Oh my goodness. So is there any way that, or is there anything that you want to add to it? And after you add to, finish telling us whatever you want, take your time, whatever you want to tell us. And also I want to know, how can we support you? How and which way can my listening audience, myself first, support you?
Well, first of all, I want to say that here in the last couple of weeks especially, people are well aware of Georgia being in the news with Ahmaud shooting. And I feel for his mother, because I watched an interview of his mother where she said that after he was killed, that nobody would listen to her, and the news media, anything would listen to her, and I get that completely, because that's the same thing they did to us. It took me 560 something days before we got the first media coverage on DJ's case. The sheriff told them, don't talk about it, don't discuss it. So I know exactly where she's coming from, as far as nobody wanting to hear it, nobody listening to her, nobody believing it, and it's just nobody has anyone. How can I say this? They have no one to answer to here in Georgia. The governor doesn't care. The attorney general doesn't care. None of them care. And if it hadn't been for the media blowing up and raising hell about this case, you would not have seen GBI get involved. The governor wouldn't have gotten involved. The attorney general, and now the FBI is involved. If it hadn't blown up on the internet, you would have never heard about it again. They don't care. So, I like I told you the other day, Wanda, I'm jealous of black people in my own way, because you guys will come together and stand up for what's right and help each other. A complete stranger, y'all will fight for each other. And I've yet to have anybody help me fight for my brother.
Well, whatever you need us to do, sis, you right here with me. I love you, and I'm gonna fight for you and do whatever I can. Like, there's nothing but love here. Like, I love you. Like, and it's funny you said that, because like sometimes, sis, and I didn't get to share that with you because I had to like get my mind together. But sometimes, sis, I feel like my own people, like even though it appears like when it seems like when like stuff get on a national level, everybody get in an outrage and then everybody, stand up, which they should, right? But on the just on accountability level in general, I don't feel like I get supported like I should from my own folks. Like if you look at the folks that come to West Wednesday and support me, they're not my skin color. You know what I mean? And I'm not taking away from black folks either, but it's just saying, so I kind of feel you in the aspect of what you're saying, but it's just like, so I have those same kind of feelings about my own people, because at the end of the day, I can't sometimes move out. Like I just posted actual page, it was like a hate page that they actually started saying like they were basically trying to make the victims, the killers was the victims. You get what I'm saying? They're trying to make the killers seem like they were the victims. So I shared it on my page, and I'm like, everybody, share this page so we can get it took down type of thing whatsoever. I had a housemate grow come for me, and I didn't even delete him yet, and I hope he's watching. But he had the nerve to come for me and say, "Why the bleep are you sharing this?" I said, "Excuse me, you need to read." Basically, I'm sharing it because I want this to be turned up. But I always get housemates to come for me first, to say stuff like, "Oh, why are you doing that? Oh, it wasn't this," or like foolish instead of backing. You get what I'm saying? Like, but I mean, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, we got your back. Like my brother Boone, he always say, we all we got, we all we need. We definitely got your back, Sister Green. So if there's any way we're going to keep his story going, I'm going to keep sharing and sharing, because sharing is caring and putting the word out. Because that's what they try to do to my family. They try to sweep us underneath of the rug. That's what they try to do. Maybe not for the West family going out there. Like, you know what, we heard about Ergo. Like, we was out here way before, God forbid, Freddie Gray got killed. We didn't want him to get killed. You get what I'm saying? That's why we took a stance like, oh no, y'all got the wrong man, but y'all got the right family type of thing. Y'all not gonna do this to my family. And out the blue, it just was crazy. Like, so I don't know what yeah.
Well, with the Ahmaud case, they arrested them and charged them with felony murder and aggravated assault. And my private investigator was the private investigator on the Anthony Hill case. I don't know if any of y'all are familiar with that case. He was a black man that was completely nude, and he was shot and killed by a white cop. And he was completely nude. Anthony Hill. He was a veteran.
He had a gym. Like when he got killed, was he at a gym?
No, he wasn't in jail.
No, not in jail, at a gymnasium, like working out at a gym.
No, you're thinking of Kendrick Johnson.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's why I think Georgia. Georgia has many. Georgia has so many, it's hard to keep up with them. But Anthony Hill was. They went to court over that and everything, and because they charged Olson, the shooter, with felony murder and not manslaughter. They didn't add manslaughter onto that. It was a split jury of whites and blacks. And they would not find him guilty of felony murder because they could not prove that there was premeditation there. And I have this gut feeling, and my private investigator has said the same thing, that with this Ahmaud case, it's going to be the same thing. They only charged them with felony murder and aggravated assault. They did not add manslaughter on there. So in a jury is not going to be able to prove without a shadow of a doubt that they had, premeditated killing him. And he'll get off. They'll both get off. And they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. But yeah, DJ does have a website. It's justicefordj.com. We have a petition on there. We have all the investigation files, reports, 911 calls, everything you can find. We even have a shop on there where you can buy shirts, t-shirts, and things like that to help fund this case.
Let me know, sis. I want to get me a shirt. After we get off of here, I'm definitely send me all the information to my email, and I'm going to order me a shirt as well. I ordered
appreciate
one
it.
for my little sister Queen. I'm definitely going to order one. So nice. Absolutely.
Thank you, and thank you again for having me on here. I love you, girl.
No, I love you more. You just keep fighting. And if you need us to turn up the pressure, like, you got a petition out, a current petition out?
Yeah, there's a petition on the, you can get to it through the justicefordj.com website, or you can just Google change.org DJ Vicky, and you can find it.
Okay. Well, definitely you get a chance to tag me in onto the petition, and I'll have all my friends. I got 5,000. I don't know if all of them really my friends, but I'll get them to share it as much as possible, and we just signed it. Because we all we got at the end of the day, like Bloom said, we all we got.
Thank you.
And thank you again for sharing, and I love you, and we you know, apparently, and I'm a woman of God, and I'm not gonna try to take nobody to church right now, but I honestly believe that they think they're getting away with murder. They might get away with it right here on earth, but trust me, one day they're gonna have to answer. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
I hope, and it sounds like kind of conflicted. How can you be a Christian woman and you want somebody to burn in hell? But guess what? I hope they all burn in hell with gasoline drool. And I said drool. Yes, I did.
Well, I'm a believer of God too, and I don't see myself sharing heaven with the man who killed my brother. I don't see it.
Exactly. I wish I get the chance to go to court and they try to give me a hug. The killers try to give me a hug. Please let me get close enough. Trust me, you hugging me. I've been woo, Jesus.
Well, I filed a wrongful death suit for DJ, and I'm representing myself, and I'm not looking forward to the day when it goes to court and I have to be on the other side of the room across from him.
Yeah. But just be prepared. It's a long road. When you go through all the motion of discovery phase, it's horrible. And how I know I had to go through it, I literally went through the motion of discovery phase for a whole long 6 years of hearing them. They come in the sat in the little hearing room. They got on suits. They got on attorneys, and I'm sitting up there looking at how big these killers was. In comparisons to my brother, my unarmed brother, that they try to make it seem like, oh, he was so big and we fear fight. And I'm looking at these big giant killers come, sat in, and the way they describe torturing my brother, I had to endure this. So you know how many times I threw up? Like literally, if I could count the times I vomited, I'm surprised I'm still living. I'm serious. Like every part of that, I literally would have to go to the bathroom and vomit. Like it was sickening. Seeing killers come in, then they want to be, all right. And the favorite word, get ready for this word, sis, because you're going to hear it. Oh, I don't recall. I don't recall. I don't recall. That's their favorite word. Oh, I don't recall. And the more that they do the justice, the latest justice, the nine thing, because that's exactly what it is. I don't recall. That's all you hear. I don't recall, you know. So it's just horrible, but I'm with you. If it is, like I said, I'm going to support you, sis. Make sure you send me that information so I can order my t-shirt today, and send me that petition so I can share it. And anything else you want to share, sis.
I'm praying for all of you, and I'm here for all of you, too.
All right, well, I love you and keep fighting. I know DJ looking down so proud of you. I know Sandra Bland looking down so proud of her sister, because at the end of the day, they can't take us away from our love spiritually. We won't always be spiritually connected. I love my brother even more now through death. Like, so the love never stops, the fight never stops, none of that never stops. So love you, sis. Keep doing what you're doing. And at the end of the day, we will win. We will win because the truth don't need any support. So again, thank you. I love you. Don't forget to send me my information because I want my t-shirt.
I will. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you, sis. All right. So moving right on to the show, I decided to bring my brother Wayno, who has, let me tell you about my brother Wayno. This brother is amazing. Between him, Boom, and JC and Shorty, I don't have no worries. And my brother Back Alley, I don't have any worries. Like anywhere I go, these are true kings. They track me down like, sis, where are you? You good? And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. They be like, send me the address. And even this brother, he was a victim of police brutality. And I remember the thing that I love about this brother, he's like the king. He wears so many crowns, right? So I remember when I first met him, my brother was killed. He took a beating because he put me on his radio show. Like how we are all connected now, he actually brought me and my family on. That was like the first radio show we went on. And he like, look, tell the truth, say whatever you want to say, because they already know me and my family, the West family, we ain't had no cut cards. We done told Charles Barkley what to do. We ain't got no cut cards. We gonna tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And so we went on his show. We aired that thing out, but no further ado. My king, my brother, Wayne out. Mic check.
Mic check, mic check.
What it do, family? What it do? It's a pleasure and an honor to be here in front of all of you all, man. And, it's truly an honor to be here in front of all of you sisters. Stay on the battlefield, man, for not just for your families, but families who are also going through this, who have no voice, folks who have come and gone. No one even know their situation. So I truly bow my head, you know what I mean, and salute you, because, growing up, I didn't grow up in that kind of a family. I didn't grow up with, knowing a lot of these things until I got, connected with a lot of sisters who told me their stories. My father was the kind of man that was like, if you see a man putting his hands on a woman, you beat that ass. You see what I'm saying? He said you never pass up a free ass whipping. That's a free ass whipping. You got some stress on you, you know what I mean? There go your time to let it go, because the brother know that, he's out of pocket for doing what he's doing. You know what I mean? So he was like, you go ahead and let that thing rip. And my Hand of God family, I can't even count how many times my father walked into somebody's house and dragged the guy out and whipped his ass because of what he was doing in the house. You know what I mean? I was in my neighborhood. I grew up with mainly all guys, and my father was one of the only fathers in the house. So he literally had to be the father of the neighborhood. He taught almost every guy I grew up with how to ride a bike or tie a shoe or throw a football. You know what I mean? And so, that mentality, but at the same time, my father was a drug addict. You know what I'm saying? So, it's like we beeped and right about all of those situations between us, but then when he was gone, I recognized, like, damn, that man, was a great person in our community. And that's why I say, like, yeah, we got folks with issues out here, man. You know what I mean? But, we can jump on them about them, but we also got to be there to support them. So that played a major role in why I stepped up and tried to do all that I was doing in the community so far as helping a lot of the drug addicts, because I grew up in that world. You know what I mean? And so far as when it came to police brutality, you know what I mean? I was the young scholar. My mother was an activist. You know what I mean? My godfather was Dr. John Henry Clark. So, you know what I mean? There was no way of getting around, you know what I mean, the black experience from where I come from. So, and at the same time, I got my ass whipped numerous times by the police just being on my way home from school. You know what I'm saying? Mistaken identity and all these different scenarios, and then, they just send you on your way. I was a kid and we watched the police kill different guys, and then just, it was just swept under the rug. So, instantly when I met Tawanda Jones and heard her story, I was personally impacted by it and brought her onto Radio 1. And of course, everybody said I shouldn't do it, this, that, and the other. And I caught hell. I was off the air for a couple weeks and all of that. And then I turned around and did it again. You know what I mean? Then I turned around and brought Shorty, you know what I mean, the General, Triple OG, you know what I mean, on the air. And then it became a thing. It became that outlet, you know what I mean, for the local activists who did not have a voice. And y'all said some things that was very important, man. And I want y'all to understand that this battle is yours. You know what I mean? And I know my sisters and, be on her God thing, man. And, I appreciate it because that's the world that I grew up in. But this battle is yours. You see what I'm saying? And I say that because I always tell folks, in different communities that I go to, how do all y'all know each other? You know what I mean? And it's the same reason that all of us know each other. Because we are the ones that are out here trying to do something out of all of the people that are around just watching the show go on. And then you're constantly being impacted, and then you have another family join the fight. Then you have another family join the fight because of these scenarios that are happening that will never end until the men in the community stand up. You see what I'm saying? This is the thing. Regardless of how much education I was given. You know what I mean? I was blessed with. It did not matter if I was not prepared to fight with these two right here. You see what I'm saying? I would get on and jump in a lot of these guys behind about the stuff that they doing online or the stuff that they doing and saying, because nobody else will say something. And folks will come to me and be like, yo, could you bring attention to this scenario? Could you say something about this? Or could you call this person out for saying it? You know what I mean? So many times I got a lot of information from a lot of the sisters that was working in the mayor's office downtown, sisters that was working in City Hall, sisters that was working for the state office building. You see what I'm saying? All these different offices and the corruption that was going on. So we was able to, expose it through the radio, because these are people that are personally impacted. And Tawanda Jones said something very important. There is no different pain. Pain hurts. That's it. That's the only feeling that you get from it. So if all of us are going down these different roads of pain that's still leading to this highway of hell, you see what I'm saying? There is no difference in our struggle. There is no difference in our battle. I don't care what you call it. You can call it, white supremacy, or you can call it sexism. You see what I'm saying? Or you can make it, any kind of reason why you don't like this religion or that religion. It's all that is bull to me a lot of times, because it's always a reason for us not to work together. You know what I'm saying? And then the thing is that the issues that are happening in our community tend to stem from us being hurt individuals. You see what I'm saying? So it's hard to deal with so much, and heal a situation when you're already hurt. See, a lot of times y'all fail to realize, like, I do what I do because I'm hurt. You see what I'm saying? Tawanda does what she does because she's hurt. I've been personally impacted by that stuff. So I would get out, you know what I'm saying, and go in and chase down folks and jumping these dudes behind because of how it impacted my life personally. We've actually found missing children in Baltimore City. You think the police department couldn't do that? You see what I'm saying? We got out in the house and fed people. You think that the police department or the city council or the, you know what I'm saying, you think that they can't do that? As big as those budgets are? You see what I'm saying? No. These are systems that are created to prey on people. They prey on your beliefs. They prey on your religions. They prey on your politics. You know what I'm saying? And I know that it's just like, wow, this brother's saying a lot and he kind of jumping all around. But I'm trying to show y'all that it all is still connected. It don't matter what town I'm in. You see what I'm saying? They got the same issue differently. I'm talking to the Native Americans in Iowa. You know, the same scenario differently. You know what I mean? And now we get the country is completely falling apart. Why? Because we're all going through the same thing differently. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter. Everybody talking about, this coronavirus is impacting us the worst in the black community. Actually, it's not. What's impacting us the worst is the care, the racism, the sexism. All of the isms is what's impacting us. Not hypertension. You know what I'm saying? Not high blood pressure. Because you got people that are living side by side in these communities. Black, white, Asian, Spanish, whatever. And we can say that, this is a white community and that's a black community, but you still got to intermingle. You still got to cross paths. All these people got hypertension. A lot of people got high blood pressure. Why are all the black folks dying? It's because of the lack of care. Period. And I know this directly from the nurses that are in New York, from the nurses that are working in Baltimore City, from the nurses that are working out here in Nebraska. You see what I'm saying? It's from care. They're going to leave you right there on that bed, you know what I'm saying, and go ahead and handle these folks who they think are more important to them. You see what I'm saying? These are the issues that are impacting us across America. And you got big business that are making big dollars off of the divide. You see what I'm saying? It's just point blank simple. It don't matter. And the thing is that, like I said, at the same time, I also teach science. So now I travel all over the country training people in fiber optics for one big major company developer, Facebook. And then at the same time, I got to come down to the grassroots level. You see what I'm saying? And talk to the people in these communities about why they are living the way that they are. You know what I'm saying? Alongside of me being an individual from Baltimore City that's coming across the country to come and get your money. And you're sitting down on your behind and complaining about the situation instead of going to educate yourself, going over and looking at this, checking at that. It's a villager thing. You know what I'm saying? And I had to step out of being a villager so I can see the bigger picture to be able to do something on a greater scale. Because as long as I'm right there, you know what I'm saying, everybody gonna keep pulling me into the situation and I'm gonna go fight.
You know I'm gonna go do it. You know it. You know what I'm saying? So I had to step back to get on a bigger scale, to see a bigger picture, to bring the resources that we need. Now I'm connecting with companies, man, that's going to donate the supplies that we need to rebuild the houses in the community so that we can get these women and children off the street. We got folks that's going to donate the supplies, you see what I'm saying, in the material so we can do veteran housing. You see what I'm saying? But as long as I was right there in Baltimore City with all the education and all of the know-how, and I'm constantly barking up these same trees that's not going to produce any fruit, I'm wasting my time. And then you turn around, and then like you said, Tawanda, you know what I'm saying? The people that I'm fighting for, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm fighting for me. The people that are out here supporting me don't look like me.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because of the fact that these are all hurt people. These are all people who have been touched some way or somehow by your story or by a scenario that happened in their life that was similar. You see what I'm saying? We all want change. We all want things better, and it's only going to happen by keep connecting with these hurt people. You see what I'm saying? We have to re-educate the hurt people. You know what I'm saying? You want the police to stop running up on you and beating on you, then you pull your gun out on them and dump on their ass. So that's why I'm going around and licensing and making sure that all these black women that get across this country are not afraid to pick up a gun. They train with guns. They are getting professional training with guns from top companies on the planet. I work with Tactical 88. They train police departments. I'm bringing them in to train these women. You see what I'm saying? That's the stuff that's necessary. I'm sitting over here with the thick beard and the, you know what I'm saying, same shirt I had probably when I left Baltimore, because all my dollars, my experience and my time got going to this. I can't sit around and keep talking and preaching and no, man, I'm done with that. We gotta go get that work. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not willing to put your time or your dime on the line, I don't want to hear nothing you got to say.
That's right.
This is the first video and joint that I did live with anybody since I left Baltimore. Wow. And I've had hundreds of folks. I can show you hundreds of emails from folks. Yo, get on my show. Yo, come to this event. Yo, jump in this, jump in that. And I denied all of them. I'm ready on foot, walking into the communities, talking to people, doing the same thing I did in Baltimore. A lot of times people don't realize that the person that can support you or can help you live right around the corner. But because you are a Republican, you don't like the Democrats, or because you're Baptist, you don't like the Methodists, or because you are into the Afrocentric thing that you can't bang out with the Spanish brothers and sisters. You see what I'm saying? All those reasons are why that we got Donald Trump in office and why the coronavirus is rampant across this nation. It's all why every last man is in a jail cell. These are all the same reasons. Everybody got a reason why they're there. When are we going to create the answers and the reasons to turn it around? You know what I'm saying? It's a quote that Al Green said in one of his songs. And, you know, I was sitting in a jail cell and I heard it. You know what I mean? And then it changed my life forever. He said, the same things that make you do wrong can make you do right. And I had to stop right there and decide in my head, you know, regardless of all of this and all of that and with everybody, I got to make a concrete decision in myself regardless of all that pain, shorty, regardless of all of the time and effort. And what am I going to do with myself from this point on? I have to decide, yo. And once we make that concrete decision, then, yeah, we can fix these issues. But if not, we're going to keep sitting around, yo. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to keep standing out there on the Green Mountain, and you're going to keep getting hunks. And those people are not going to get out their cars and get involved until their sundown. Right. You see what I'm saying? I'm sorry, fam. I ain't mean to just, you know, take up the time. I ain't say nothing in a minute, yo. Like, you know what I'm saying?
You giving us facts, King. You giving us facts.
And at the same time, I want everybody's T-shirt, so everybody make sure y'all send me, because I'm buying everybody's T-shirt that's on the joint. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I want to support.
Brother. Send me the information. I want one. I'm gonna have so many T-shirts, y'all. It ain't gonna be fun.
Flat out, man. I ain't mean to jump all over the place, family, but it's like.
No, but when everything's happening, brother, that's how I be. I jump from one situation to another because there's so much going on in our minds, so much going on in the world right now. You can't help but flip.
And it really hurts because when I'm out here and I don't have that support, you know what I'm saying? You are vulnerable to damaging your own self. You see what I'm saying? Because we fail to realize that, you know, we will implode. Thank God for the brothers and sisters that came up beside you and supported you, regardless of what color they was. You see what I'm saying? Because it takes that support. If not, you will implode, man. You know what I mean? I found myself flipping out on folks, you know what I'm saying? Because of the fact that, you know, I'm so angry. You know what I'm saying? And instead of, you know, finding a positive, I just go off. You know what I mean? And not being in Baltimore and having that place and to put that energy, you know what I'm saying? It made me snap on a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Because instantly, when I see you doing something out of pocket, I'm going to say something. You see what I'm saying? And this is just an example, and you know what I mean? Not off topic, but on topic. I was in a restaurant, and this woman and her husband had 3 kids with them. The one child that was the youngest was probably like 2 going on 3. One of the boys there was 2 older brothers. The 2 older brothers got to tussling. You know what I'm saying? In the store playing, being 11 and 12-year-old boys. One of them tripped and fell on the child's head. You know what I'm saying? Fractured the child's skull. The forehead on the kid swelled up bigger than my fist.
Oh, wow.
This was the God honest truth. You see what I'm saying? And do you think that family took their child out of there to a hospital? They sat there, waited for their food, after ordering their food, sat down and had a meal with this child, bloodshot red, blackening, not on her head, screaming to the top of her lungs. I had to call an ambulance to come up there to you know what I'm saying? Because they wouldn't. I literally zapped out, yo. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the hell is wrong with these people?
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I mean? We are so caught up in our own thing that your own child being hurt in front of your eyes doesn't move you to do something. This is the world that we living in. I ain't talking about somebody else, child. Brothers used to get mad at me because I would go off on them for flipping out or beating on this sister or talking to this sister any kind of way or disrespecting them elders. And they be like, yo, that ain't your mother. You know what I'm saying? Well, this the world that we live in now? Where bitch ass nigga has become the thing? You see what I'm saying? That's become the life, right? That's where it's at, right? We don't fight no more. And all this other stuff. What you mean? I see videos of brothers fighting and beating each other up over stupid shit on the internet every day, all day. When you gonna go and beat this brother up or put his hands on that woman you see him do every night? When you gonna go and take that brother off the block that you know is a pedophile? When y'all know this? You know what I'm saying? That's the real. You know what I mean? Sorry, family. My bad, yo.
No, I ain't no my bad. Unapologetically black, brother. Unapologetically.
I ain't got to rap with y'all in a minute, man. You know what I mean? I'm out here in the bushes. I'm out here in the bushes, yo.
My brother, how can we support you?
No, man, that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here for y'all.
No, we all we got. You feel me?
We all we need. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here for y'all to tell me how I can support y'all. That's not what I do. If anything, I get donations to give away, which y'all know. You know what I'm saying? I've mailed up thousands of dollars of donations and given them away. If people don't know, you can look back through my Facebook history. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to explain nothing to nobody. What I'm telling everybody to do is get on here and support somebody that do something. If I gotta buy a T-shirt, if you got a page that you're trying to raise funds, you know what I mean, to get a court attorney, you know what I mean. Everybody need to constantly do this. If everybody in Baltimore City took $1 and you know what I'm saying, and put it up for every kid in their neighborhood, none of these kids would have to worry about paying to go into college. $1? We got more than enough people to put up $1 a week. If 650,000 some people put up $1 a week, you know how much bread that is? You see what I'm saying? I've gotten small things to accumulate to furnish whole houses. I get people to donate stuff and got these people off the street, help them get the crib, then help furnish the joint. Then got other people donating food to make sure they got food in the joint. You see what I'm saying? And that's not going to come from the handful of people that's around you. Those people that's riding past you ain't gonna never support you because they're scared of you. You see what I'm saying? You don't realize how intimidating that is for people who have been trained to fight back. It is ingrained in you to not fight back. Everything around you tells you not to fight back. Your religion, your politics, everything. It is DNA, just like a bird or just like that tree. You see what I'm saying? That's rooting and giving seeding itself. That's the same thing that we're doing. The people are planting the seeds of injustice. You see what I'm saying? We are no different from no other living thing on this planet, but we like to think so because we can dress ourselves. You see what I'm saying? And have documented language. You know what I mean? But we are no different. We are life, and life will never cease to exist. You know what I'm saying? But what we have to do is fight to make life better So it's more enjoyable to live it, to exist in it. You see what I'm saying? Just point blank and simple, man. Because all of these issues that y'all are talking about and that y'all are fighting, these people out here deal with it worse. And they would never open their mouth, sis. They would never open their mouth.
Can you tell everybody where you at now?
Right now, I'm in Omaha, Nebraska, between Iowa and Nebraska. You know what I'm saying? And I'm darting back and forth between Dakota and Missouri. We just making out. I was just in Colorado Springs. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the folks would never say something, and they had horror stories. You know what I mean? It's that ingrained fear. And after sitting and talking with this brother, they told me this whole scenario about, you know, how what the police have done, how the community looks because of the other more wealthier and white communities, and all these things. And then I'm like, we get ready to get out the car and go and grab some food, and it started raining, and the brother didn't want to get out the car because he had on white tennis, and it was raining outside. So you think from a man that has that kind of mentality is going to get up and do anything to fight for any situation that's going out here if he's not going to get his white shoes wet in the rain? These are the kind of people that we're dealing with. You see what I'm saying? And people will ask you like, yo, I want you to come out here and I want you to help and talk to us and this, that, and other. And then go and have these conversations with these folks. When I showed them the Tawanda Joneses, you see what I'm saying? Because don't get me twisted. I haven't spoken to a lot of y'all in a long time. But it's not a week that goes by that I may not speak about you. You see what I'm saying? Because you're one of the biggest examples of a warrior. You know what I mean? From day one, before any of these folks knew you, I was calling you the Honorable Warrior Queen. You see what I'm saying? Because you had that fight in your eyes that already knew what it was. You see what I'm saying? A lot of these folks don't have that. And if they don't see people like you, they would never have the example. You see what I'm saying? I do a lot of stuff that I'm doing because I got to be the example. You know what I mean? I take the punches. I done dealt with every backlash. I was every bitch ass nigga, punk ass nigga, fuck him. I was every worst name in the world. When I decided I was going to do what I was going to do, everybody said I got some money from somewhere. You see what I'm saying? And you know, all the conspiracy theories in the world, what I'm doing is to support you. It's like Marcus Garvey said. He said the biggest people that I have the biggest fight with are the ones I'm fighting for. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times the things that you're doing is on you. It's your struggle. You said it's your grind. It's meant for you to do it. You have to be that example. You have to constantly be that warrior even when nobody is there to do it for you. You know what I'm saying? Because if not, nobody else in this world will have the example. If not, we will keep chasing our own tails. You know what I mean? I've never seen so many people, black people, with so much wealth. You know what I'm saying? And have nothing to do with it. Don't get it twisted. These people in the Midwest got stupid money. They got more malls, more shopping areas and restaurants in Omaha than New York has alone. And New York's supposed to be the restaurant capital of the world. You see what I'm saying? Like, these people, you know what I mean, that are sitting on welfare and all this stuff, these folks that are sitting, they get so much more money here because of the big corporations that support here. Everybody that puts in money here. You know what I mean? This is from, I forgot the brother's name, Berkshire company owner. His name slips me right now at the top of my head.
Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett. Thank you, brother. You know what I'm saying? He's this multi-billionaire who walks around the community and gives away money. On Halloween, he was at his front door giving out $100 bills. You see what I'm saying? They put so much money into the social systems here for the well-being of these people. These people laid back. Yeah, it's racist. Yeah, we got to deal with them burning the cross every once in a while. Yeah, a black person may end up missing, but I'm comfortable. I'm not making no noise. You see what I'm saying? It's like, yo, then what y'all call me here for? You know what I'm saying? I got so fed up with talking and preaching. Even when we sitting in an event, in the venue, and I go to the stage and talk all this stuff because of an issue that happened, a police brutality issue or whatever, it's 1,000 people in the building. The very next week, it's 3 people sitting in there. I got tired of that, yo. You see what I'm saying? It just became so draining that the people that I'm fighting for, I got to keep fighting with to get you to every stage. Every time we notch up, I got to push you there, yo. You see what I'm saying? To the point where it starts to weigh on me, my health. Nobody even know that I had a minor heart attack. Nobody know that I suffer from alopecia, and when I get stressed out, then my head fall off. That's why I had no mustache for years. You see what I'm saying? Nobody know about this because I bottle all it up and I use what I am going through as fuel to fight. You see what I'm saying? That's always what I'm doing, man. You know, and at the end of the day, you know, when you feel like you've done all that you possibly can, you know what I mean? And you can't move no more, regardless of how much you want to quit. There's nothing in me that will allow me to. No matter how much, Tawanda, you jump up, you know what I'm saying, and deal with all the stress that come with fighting this fight. There's nothing in you that's going to prevent you from doing it. Nothing in your being. So we had to find better ways of dealing ourselves, yeah. We had to. Because if not, there's such it is so much energy that it breaks you down, yeah. You know what I mean? So this conversation, not just for the people that are listening and watching it, I could care less about them, yeah. This conversation is about us. You know what I'm saying? We have to build and keep building us and keep connecting with those people that are hurt, because those are the ones that make the change. You know what I mean? I hate the fact that we gotta live that way, but this is our battle, sisters. This is our battle, family. You know what I mean? And they say that this battle is not yours, but you would not be in your lap if it wasn't. Don't get it twisted. A lot of that stuff was put on us for us not to fight back. You see what I'm saying? We gotta keep always remember, you know what I'm saying, where a lot of this stuff comes from. It's always put on us for us not to fight back. You know what I mean? If God, the same God would damn his enemies, you know what I'm saying? Then what you think that he would allow his child to not fight back? What is Jesus he come here for? If that's what you believe in, he came here to fight and show you the way. What did Muhammad come here for? He came here to fight and show you the way. What did Buddha? What did any of your religious beliefs? My thing is, you know, I'm a scientist. My science is intertwined with my spirituality and my consciousness. You know what I'm saying? I cannot even call God male no more because I know better. You see what I'm saying? Everything in the universe was created merely out of a female principle. Don't nothing in life come through life by a male principle. Nothing. Only women give birth. So what is the universe? She is female. She is our mother. That is what our ancestors were trying to teach us, to have, so that we have take more of a responsibility and have accountability when it comes to our environment, when it comes to our community, when it comes to our women. Our women are God in the flesh. You see what I'm saying? That's who we are. That's who we all are. And I go when I speak with these guys and they get mad when I come to this, because they want to hit me with a lot of their religious mumbo jumbo of why women should be docile and tolerate your bullshit. You see what I'm saying? Nah, dog. Well, God created man. No, he didn't. It ain't even a he. If that was the case, then why do men have nipples? Somebody explain that to me. Because none of y'all are scientists. Y'all going off of religion, belief that y'all was passed down to you. All men have nipples because women existed before men did. We come from them. They created us out of the necessity to survive in the wilderness. You see what I'm saying? We've been on this planet for billions of years in different humanoid species, you know what I'm saying, to get to this point. If your understanding of God and your belief in God is so great, then understand how vast and how great God is on that level. And stop trying to minimize it down here to this little level that you can control and manipulate people with. You see what I'm saying? So no, that's why I stopped taking, and stopped dealing with a lot of folks, man. I had to fall back because it gets to a point where now I'm a man. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I've worked in so many grant proposals. I've wrote in so many projects, help communities to get redeveloped, all of that. But at the end of the day, I'm a man. If you want to do what like men do, we can fight like men. You see what I'm saying? All of that, I'm done with that. Every last one of these dudes that had something to say, I went and pulled them up. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to internet gangster me. You know what I'm saying? No, I come to you. I come to your home. You know what I'm saying? Don't play with me, man. That's how serious we have to be, sis. You know what I mean? It was times you was out and marching and doing your thing. Man, I was chilling in the cut, smoking, watching you from a distance. You turn around and see like, man, I ain't seen you come on here and say something. I'm not even here to speak. I'm here because I saw that you had some tension, and now I'm over in the cut with the joint. You see what I'm saying? We had to be that blunt. We had to be that literal. Why? Because of the fact that we're going to keep going around and tolerate everybody else's bullcrap, and we got to bottle up, we got to pray, and we got to meditate, and we got to this. No, all they doing is telling you to be a bitch. Sit back and take this. You know what I'm saying? Excuse my language if it's a little horrendous for some of you. You know what I'm saying? But this is the wrong, I'm sorry, this is the wrong post for me, sister. Ask me that, I'm here, shorty. I'm here. You know what I'm saying? I'm the same guy that took hundreds of kids every year in that city. I'm the same guy that did all it in fighting for police brutality. I'm the same guy that did all the housing all these women and children and veterans. I'm the same guy that helped those communities get redeveloped. And I'm the same guy that's willing to put my life on the line when it comes to dealing with our people and our community. Where the rest of them at, sis? You see what I'm saying? I'm not coming for the sermon. I'm done with the march. You know, the only thing that I will come up and for is something that you do, something that y'all are doing, because of the fact that you are serious about what you're doing. Every time I got in the back office with any of these folks, they want to talk, it's about making money, short. Hey man, remember I was the president of the National Action Network with Al Sharpton and all that. No, back in what 2014, 2013, and resigned because it's the same thing. I was a part of this organization, a part of those national organizations. It's all the same thing. They all taking advantage of what you believe in, your religious beliefs and your politics, and they want you to put a couple dollars in their pocket. You see what I'm saying? Until we avoid all of that foolishness, put all that religion on the shelf, put all them politics on the shelf, and say, yo, this is what we're going to do because this is what's necessary for the women. This is what we're going to do because this is necessary for the children. This is what's necessary for the veterans. This is necessary for the drug addicts. You see what I'm saying? We're not going to ever get there because everybody want to preach and pontificate, sis. You know what I'm saying? So until that point, you know, I'm going to be chilling the cut, building this joint up, supporting the ones that need that support. Thank y'all for the time, man.
And thank you for being that example. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
So it's definitely open for my West Wednesday family, y'all. Bring it. Mic check.
Yeah, I'd like to jump in here, and I want to tell a few stories this evening. The first is that during the pandemic, you know, you got to get out and get a little exercise. So my wife and I went to the Eastern Shore a couple of weeks ago for a hike in one of the parks. So next to the car where we parked was this car. This is the Queen Anne Sheriff's car. And this is what was also on that car. I don't know if you can read it, but look at the year that they started the Queen Anne Sheriffs, 1706. What do you think they were doing back then? This was not far from where Harriet Tubman was enslaved in Talbot County. This was Queen Anne's County. And the purpose of those early police departments was to brutally enforce the slave system. So if someone escaped, they would try to catch them, and they would set a public example of brutalizing them to try and discourage other people from rebelling and escaping. Harriet Tubman, just to give a little story about her, she did a lot of wonderful things. One of the things she did was, after she had freed many people, she went back down to where she had lived as a slave, and she wanted to get her sister out of slavery. And she's there in the town, incognito, trying not to get caught herself, but her sister wasn't ready to leave for a few months. So Harriet had to live under those circumstances for quite a while. One day, she's walking down the street in this small town, and she's got a chicken that she had just purchased, and she sees coming towards her the man that used to be her slave owner. So Tubman was a very clever woman. What she did was she pulled the rope on the chicken's feet tighter so that it would start squawking. And when it started squawking, that was her excuse to look down and pull her bonnet down so her face couldn't be seen, and wrap the chicken a little tighter and Karen wouldn't know who it was. So there's one story about a fighter. Now I want to jump forward 250 years in Baltimore. In the 1970s, there was a young man named Calvert Hazelton. Calvert Hazelton lived in the Westport neighborhood. Calvert Hazelton had a job that got off around 2 in the evening. He didn't have a car. He was riding home by bicycle. Some police officer, whose nickname was Curly, he claimed that Calvert Hazelton met the description of someone who had theoretically robbed some store. He told Calvert to stop. And just like many other people, he didn't feel comfortable alone in the presence of a cop late at night. So he kept going. Just the way Freddie Gray decided he needed to run. Same thing. And that cop shot him in the back and killed Calvert Hazelton. Now, I'm a member of Progressive Labor Party, Revolutionary Communist Party, and we have been organizing in the Westport neighborhood for a number of years. Every Saturday, we would spend hours going door to door with our newspaper. And we had fought for better heat at one of the schools where many of the children in that neighborhood went for middle school. So we were in a position to do something about this police murder. And we organized a community meeting of several hundred people. And everybody was angry about what happened and ended up with a friendly debate. Should we march that very night to the police station? And from Westport, it's a good hike to get to the closest police station. And in the end, the decision was we're going to march. And it was a march to that station. Unfortunately, we didn't win to get Curly, that cop, fired and jailed, but we did get him removed from that beat. That's the one little thing we won on that particular occasion. And I think that the 400 years of racist police brutality that we have experienced in this country and the lynchings and so on, I think they have a root in our economic system. I want a little story that kind of illustrates that root. So I had a job at one time in a little factory. I was a student at the Community College of Baltimore on Liberty Heights Road. And I had a part-time job at HB Furniture, which was a factory that made like those bars that people sometimes put in their basement with the fake leather on a counter and the lights that blink to the music and so on. So we were manufacturing those on Arcontrolli, street right next to Druid Hill Park. Now the job was terrible. I was getting, excuse me, there was a phone call. I was getting minimum wage. In those days, that was $1.65 an hour. So I'm an older guy. And in this factory, they had, we used chipboard to manufacture everything. Chipboard is a bunch of pieces of wood glued together into sheets. When you cut it, the glue vaporizes and it stings your eyes very badly, gets all over you. And at the end of the day, we take the air hoses from our tools and we blow the sawdust off each other. During the day, you could hardly tell who was black or who was white because we were all sawdust, really. And they had a lot of ventilators in that factory to pull all that out. But all of them were broken. Every single one of them was broken. And if they had you working in one place stuffing bar stools in boxes, and they wanted you somewhere else stapling the phony leather onto the front of the counters, they expected you to literally run from one end of that factory to the other end of the factory. And if you didn't work fast enough to satisfy the bosses, they would put an ad in the paper. The next day there'd be 20, 30 people lined up trying to get a job at $1.65 an hour, desperate. And so in the end, they fired me because I guess I wasn't working fast enough for them. And I gave them a little speech, and I said, we need to, fight this. It's not acceptable. We need a union and so on. So some of the workers said to me, look, we meet after work sometimes at this local bar. Why don't you come join us? So that evening, I went and met up with some of the workers. I hadn't been at the factory very long, and a lot of the people there I didn't know. So I go to the bar, and all the workers that were there were black workers from the factory. So they told me that in an earlier time, they had tried to start a union, and they went on strike. And they were on strike for 11 months. That's very hard to do. And none of the white workers would join them because of racism. And here I was, a white worker, 5 years later, getting paid minimum wage, working under circumstances, and getting fired, which made my life difficult. And I realized, I knew it theoretically before, but I realized in a practical way that racism is a trick used by the rich business owners to divide and conquer, like Wayne was saying, to divide and conquer the working class. And that those white workers should have overcome their racism, should have accepted leadership from the black workers who were bolder, should have joined that strike. And had they done that, my life would have been a lot better all those 5 years later. I think that's the root of racism. It's used by the big, powerful business owners to do two things. They want to make lots of extra profit by paying people of color lower wages. About a third of their profits come from that. And they want to also divide and conquer the working class and make us weak. So I just want to mention that this evening, for those who would like to join, at 8:30, we're going to have something called a challenge discussion group. Everybody's welcome, and we'll talk about revolutionary politics and try to learn how to effectively change the world. So that's all I wanted to say tonight, and it's a pleasure to be here on West Wednesday. It always is.
Thank you, Uncle Bill. Mic check.
Mic check. Mic check.
Mic check.
Check. That was amazing.
So if I can hop in here, I wanted to first of all, I wanted to say to Wayno, I really appreciate a lot of stuff you're saying about how, and it's what I say here all the time, there's only one fight really. It's really just the people against the empire, and all these little subdivisions and communists versus anarchists versus capitalists versus rich people versus poor people and gays versus straights, and all these ways to divide us are really just trying to blind us to the central problem, which is that, which is essentially power. People want power, and they want to aggrandize themselves and get themselves more. And the way to do that is to get from someone else, to take stuff in. So, that's the fundamental thing that I think we have to realize, is that we're all fighting together. We're all fighting the same thing. That tendency to use people as instruments, and that tendency to want to get more from me by taking it from you, and that tendency to say you're someone else and I don't have to consider you a person. I can just push you away and use you as a tool. And so, I heard that so much. And the other thing that came through so much in this what everybody's been saying tonight, Tawanda and I can't remember Sandra Bland's sister's name. Anyway, and everyone was talking about how hard this is, and how you can't do it by yourself, and how you really have to have a community, and you really have to uphold people. And that's really just the opposite of that whole empire thing. It's not me versus you, it's me and you together, going the same place and holding each other up and leading each other on. So that's, I just really want to say that's really what I've been hearing. That's really been resonating for me and making me, strengthening me in all of this. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about the Tawanda brought up the Breonna Taylor issue, because it brought out, I read some articles about it, and it brought out so much of what we see in so many of these police killings, that the police came in, they knocked down the door, they shot one policeman was shot one time in the leg, and so they emptied like 20 shots into this room without any idea of what was in there, really. And one of the boyfriend called up his mom, or called up someone and said, they're coming in, I think they shot Breonna, please come over here, we need help. She went over there, and the police wouldn't tell her what had happened. They wouldn't tell her where her daughter was. They're asking, well, was your daughter having trouble with her boyfriend? Did she know this other person? And they wouldn't tell her where she was. They wouldn't tell her what was going on. And we see this over and over again, that they know that they've screwed up, and so now they're just obfuscating and trying to hide and trying to find some way to blame the victim. And for days, she was called a suspect, and they said, oh, she was a suspect in this, and she was shot. And finally, we think she was never a suspect. She was never even related to the crime that they were supposedly pursuing. What had happened was, one guy who was working in a drug house 10 blocks away was seen at her house one day. And so they decided that she must be receiving packages for him and doing, be working with him. And so they just, threw her name on the warrant as well. But it's the same thing that we see so often, on some flimsy idea that this person is there. It's immediately assumed that they're black, they must be dangerous, they must be committed thugs, and that that all we so we just have to go in there with maximum force and maximum ability to do damage, and that's what they did. And then they're like, oh, there's no drugs here, she isn't a suspect, we better find some way, and so they say, oh yeah, of course we announced ourselves and knocked. And then it turned out there were like 5 people who were witnesses who said, no, nothing happened. They just hit this guy's door and came in the door, and what did he know? I think he's stupid for having a gun. I think I'm not a gun person, I'm not a violence person, I'm a non-violent person. But I perfectly understand that, like, if 3 guys break down your door in the middle of the night, grabbing a gun and shooting at him is not a stupid thing to do. And so, I just wanted to kind of put that information out there, because it shows that these people here, this war on drugs is just sort of again, it's the same old ideas coming together, that this other person, these others are dangerous, they're not really people, we gotta push them away, their pain doesn't count. It's different, and so that's just kind of, what I saw today that kind of really affected me. And the other thing that affects me a lot and does it every week is I get a list of people here in Baltimore who died who were violently killed. This week, this is a list with 9 people on it, and that's actually 7 fewer people than actually were killed, but it's just that those names haven't been released. I'll have those names next week, those 7 names next week. But this week, these people were lost to violence and lost to that same empire and that same thing that we have to fight against every day. And so I want to put those names out, and if you'll want to unmute and just give me a mic check, just repeat their names after me, because I think we need to, honor their sacrifice, but also all the people, try and take into ourselves all the pain and the families that are represented here, and to just sort of see this as a reason we have to keep going on. However hard it gets to be, it's not as hard for us as it is for these people. So, Shawana Span, 28.
Shawana Span, 28.
Benjamin Barlow, 44.
Benjamin Barlow, 44.
Preston Rich Jr., 21.
Preston Rich Jr., 21.
21.
Calvin Frost, 31.
Calvin Frost, 31.
David Spangler, 55.
David Spangler, 55.
Tajaya Westbrook, 21.
Tajaya Westbrook, 21.
Marquise Wilson, 25.
Marquise Wilson, 25.
John Thomas III, 21.
John Thomas III, 21.
Lamar Judd, 21.
Lamar Judd, 21.
Thank you.
Mic check, mic check.
Mike Jack.
So I'll give a couple of quick updates on the Keith Davis case. So for those that don't know, Keith Davis was shot by police in Park Heights, Baltimore, in June 2015. Case of mistaken identity. And because they shot at him over 30 times and didn't kill him, thankfully, they've been trying to bury him by framing him for murder so that they don't have to deal with a lawsuit after the fact. Right? That's really what's going on here. They've tried him for homicide in trial 4 times, and they succeeded this last time, although it's essentially overturned because the appeals court said the appeal's too strong, we're not even going to fight this. But the news is, so he has upper respiratory issues and he's being held in jail. And he is exactly the last kind of person that should be in there right now during COVID. And there was a bail review hearing in early April that got denied. Then there was a hearing last week, and during that hearing, the prosecutor said that COVID's not really a problem in the jails. They got it under control, which everybody knows is not true. But oddly enough, when the hearing was over, the lawyers were told that the hearing wasn't recorded. So they have to do it all over again. That never happens. So foul play is, of course, suspected. It's like you had one job, press the record button, and there you go. But they can't manage to get that done. So they had the repeated hearing on Monday, and it was denied on Tuesday. The judge, Philip Jackson is his name. I couldn't remember last week. He said that he claims he spent a thorough amount of time really looking into the details, right? And you might believe that that's true until you read his statement about why he denied it. And in the statement, the very first paragraph says something along the lines of, Mr. Davis has been tried 4 times. The first 2 trials ended in mistrials, and the second 2 ended in convictions. And most of us that have been following this case know that that's not even the history of the trials at all. The first trial was a hung jury, it was a mistrial. Second trial was an overturned conviction. Third trial was a mistrial. And this 4th trial is a conviction that's going to be overturned because Maryland appeals, the Attorney General was like, his appeal's too strong, we're not even going to fight. So send it back. So if this judge had really spent the amount of time to really look over the details, then maybe you would get the most basic information right to start with. Like, you are the court. You have access to all the court records through your database, and you couldn't get that right. So how much time did you really spend after your recording didn't record the first time? So his attorneys are going to fight it because even the Attorney General wrote in and said, this guy meets the qualifications for release. Now, the judge may say, well, it's a public safety issue. This is a murder conviction. But another judge in the circuit court, Judge Finn, has released multiple people with murder convictions because they met the criteria for release. So it's not about that. It's deeper than that. And I don't know who's calling in favors. I don't know what the fuck is going on behind the scenes. But even another attorney, when they were told that this is an attorney who's been practicing for years and years and years. I don't want to name names but we all know who this person is. And those of us in Baltimore are familiar with him. And when he was told that it wasn't recorded, he said, never, ever, ever in my entire history practicing law in Baltimore City has that ever happened. So what gives? And it's just one more thing in this saga because they're just so desperately trying to avoid the major lawsuit that will happen when he gets free. So that's the update right now. As far as if I hear anything new, I'll report back. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check, mic check.
Thanks, Zach.
You got it.
That was major, bro.
Thank you, Zach, for sharing that. Do anybody want to share before we wrap up?
Man, I just want to say, my hat goes off to all the, staying in this battle, staying on the front line. My hat goes off to the sisters, who has lost a brother years ago and is still fighting. You know what I mean? That goes to show our people that it's not always about racism. A lot of times it's just a corrupt government. In every direction, everywhere that we go, family, there's a different system that's set up for you. And we have to stop fighting, feeding off of it and going into it in that way. We have to unify on a bigger scale to be able to end the foolishness because we allowed for the most corrupt group of people into politics, into religion, into music, into all these different fields across the planet. We got all the most corrupt group of people controlling. You know what I mean? Our support and our strength merely lies on us supporting each other. So, sister, I want to support you, and I want to get the information for your shirt. So I can support her movement. Sister, Sister Blaine's sister, I want to support her movement, and you know what I mean. I'm here for anything else that y'all may need me for, man. So this roll the crack is over with. I'm gonna be home. God willing.
Righty. Well, again, I just want to thank everyone, like literally everyone, because I know it's hard to come up here, especially when you lose your loved one. You have to relive that pain and trauma. So, Chantel and Amanda, I definitely deeply thank you for sharing your loved ones, trust in this space to get your loved ones, stories out there again. I just want to thank you. And at the end of the day, just like my brother Wayne was saying, it's just that, like I said, it's the highway of hell. It don't matter what street you take to. Now you take the street of homeless, the street of community violence, the street of police brutality. It's all designed a corrupt system that's not for any of us. Until we change it, knock it down, build it back up. And last but not least, before we actually completely close out, I just wanted to say about the governor uplifting things. And he is the main reason why I don't believe in politicians. I don't believe in them at all. And it's like, as soon as I try to give them a little bit of faith, because for one, I didn't like him. Because I knew all the red line and all the foolishness. It was a reason that I didn't like him. But when I saw him at first standing strong and like, yeah, I'm going to make sure everybody gets looked out for, y'all stay home type of things, be safe. It started bringing because I'm at the end of the day, you got to show people respect and call people out and give them credit when it was doing. I was starting to give them credit like, yes, but now you can see that I got to. And that's the thing to me with the politicians. When you work for the man or whoever, and they're up here and you want these orders, even if your heart is right there, you act us over. And it's crazy. People are still dying. Them numbers still rise. It is not safe. So don't expect to learn. As much as I love church, I'm going to still be in my home watching it from my TV screen. I'm still not going to take West Wednesday outside until these numbers, until they talking about this curve, this so-called curve that I thought we was going to follow. They ain't following the curve. They following the curve with money. The highway of hell. We still on that trail, y'all, to the highway of hell. And it's just crazy. But welcome to America. That's all I want to say about that. It's just sad, so be safe. And I really feel so sorry for Keith Davis Jr. right now. An innocent man, y'all, that could actually lose his life. And that's what they want to do, because this is Baltimore. If they don't kill you, they're going to bury you alive. And it's sad. And it's sad. And this is personal. Anybody don't see anytime they can play all the time. I've never in my life seen so many goddamn games played. Until you ever go to one of Keith Davis Jr. trials, where you see they will do anything. They will sell their goddamn soul. I'm trying to tell y'all, just to bury this damn man alive. It's horrible when they see, and people that see it don't do nothing. Don't do nothing, y'all. I'm tired, y'all. I'm done. I'm tired. That's why I think that this video is very suiting that we're about to watch. And shout out to my brother that put this video together, his queen sister that was singing in here. This is going to take y'all back. So I want y'all to tune in to the video. So don't just hop off live yet. Tune into this very powerful video. Remember, live to love to live. I love you guys all. Remember, all we got. We're going to support the cause. We're going to keep it moving. And we are some real sad times, but due to love, and I want to thank my brother Wayne who took the time, man. This man was putting in work, still putting in work. He goes city to city, state to state to make sure we are. And I acknowledge, King, I know you didn't want us to do anything for you, but if there's anything that you ever need me for, Brother King, I'm right here. You ain't got to say a word. I'm right here with so many things. This brother fight. The things he shared to me tonight, I didn't even know certain things he was suffering from because he fights so hard. Like I said, everybody don't get on the mic to share their business. Just because you don't hear it, a lot of people suffer in silence, y'all. Sometimes you just gotta listen and be quiet and just listen to somebody. Read their signs, because everybody that appears to be okay, they're not. We're in some serious times. Check on your loved ones, please, y'all. Check on your loved ones and remember, you're not alone. Anybody needs to call me. Y'all know I stay up 24 hours a day. And if they expecting me to go back to work next week, I might not have a job because I'm not going back till it's safe. I want anybody, I don't care if they share it with my boss, share it with whoever. My family comes first. There was a reason why I took off, and not because I don't love teaching and love my families. I love all it. Love the staff, everybody. But at the same time, I love living. We in some dangerous times. You got red masses to go out the damn door and they want you to go to work. That's all it's about, a capitalist dollar. Knock it down, build it back up. Love you guys, live to love to live. Check this video out and see you guys next Wednesday. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
You are now about to witness the power of street knowledge.
people who think violence ain't the answer. This is for FOI, black gorillas and black panthers. This is Farrakhan with a pair of bombs. This Moses in Egypt freeing his people from the Pharaoh's arms. The American statement to murder us on pavement, then tell us they ain't racist and all niggas stupid cavemen. This is my rebuttal. Ain't shit about it subtle. Fuck the police, sincerely Tesla from the struggle. This country got it twisted. The soldiers I got enlisted are brutal, bullet, ballistic, meaning that we're sadistic from years of fighting the system. So ain't no cop killing me. Death coming free, so my bullets be a trilogy. Allahu Akbar, protect me from these mock laws. Let my fists be strong, I hit them until they lock jaws. My power's attack mode, I live in attack mode. I'm done seeing sons get put in them black holes. There will be no peace without justice. There will be no unity while there's poverty. See, racism isn't about you, it's a system, and only systems combat systems.
Came in the door, I said it before. Never let the white cops harass me no more, but they fighting me, sniping me. I can't hold them back. I'm searching for a sign. I got to react, cause prisons getting filled here, graveyards filled here. What more can I say? They're getting killed here. It's kind of funny they call this the minority until it comes down to cop killers and poverty. The death rate will now be the majority. Can somebody please explain this anomaly? Honestly, structure racism placed all the hate in him, even if he got a black face on him. Don't be surprised if my black blood splatters from a black man screaming Black Lives Matter. Still ain't nothing changed from the slave days to the day. In the tail soul screaming justice for Freddie Gray.
We need understanding. We need patience. What we really need is love. See, hate can't erase hate. Understand, only love can. That's the sound of the beast. Bang, 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 toe tag on their feet. That's the sound of the police. Unknown black man laying dead on the street. Serial killer, the real drug dealer. Domestic terrorists, wear them caps cause it fit. Kill my generation and then tell us to forget. We won't forget black power, power, yeah. Every damn shit exposing all the lies. Please kill the women, say it's suicide. Tired of hearing all the mamas cry. It's how will you be on when it's time to rise? They making the blame excuses to justify the abuse. Some put it on how we dress when Martin got shot in the suit. Black on black crime is a problem, just don't let that justify. I'ma keep protesting till I close my eyes. That siren is the sound of the beast. Badge number 666. My heart is a crucifix. I repel the hell of white supremacist spells. Terrorist cells got my people in cells. This is a breakout letter with oppression. A signed contract with the ghosts of my murdered people. They tell me police gun sounds or drum sounds. It's wartime, and I'm suited in Zulu. Tribal shabads and printed on my shells. The melanin braveheart. Every word I speak is a rebellion. A spear to the chest of the incest of Uncle Sam fucking his own people. This is a riot in 4D. Play me loud enough, I'll reach to the speakers and strangle a policeman. This is an uprising from the graves. Zombified leaders and gangbangers are marching toward police departments. That's what they get for filling graveyard crypts with bloods. This is a revolution, resurrection.